Okay, guys, and so here we have it, the Knight Rider books number 30 and 31 for this video. We're doing them in segments of 2 for this one because of what we're going to be doing. So let's take a look at what we have for this video. Alright, so I've made it pretty simple for us because we're just building this car now. So we have some more pieces here that we're going to be doing. It's going to be the left chassis beams and the right chassis beams. Then we're going to be doing um, some screwing in here, and apparently we got a couple other little connection ports. And then for issue 31, it talks about a gearbox rear mount, the drive shaft protector, the drive shaft 1 and 2, which would be pretty much here, and then we're going to have some more breaker cables and such, and of course a lot of screws. So lots of steps to kind of give you a little heads up. Here's what is entailed for that. And then we have this as well that we're going to be working on, connecting these pieces in and putting our drive shaft through. And then once we complete that, we'll be able to get on to the other stages as well. So far, we're moving along pretty good, guys, on building our Knight Rider. So if you're just tuning in and you're just seeing it, you can always go back and watch the other videos. But without further ado, I think it's time we get it cracking and start working on stage 30 of our build, the Knight Rider. Alright, and as you can see here, guys, this is our packaging. Everything for the Knight Rider car seems to be coming in on this little packaging deal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it open, take all the pieces out, and then we'll go ahead and start bringing the car back so that way we can attach these pieces. And here's all the pieces out of the packaging. We seem to be doing really well with that so far. These are metal pieces, so that's pretty cool. Got a little plastic piece here and another metal piece here. We have GM screws and some BEP screws. So without further ado, I think it's time we bring back our frame that we have already done up. So we have a new camera angle for you guys so you can see the whole car as we've gotten so far. I think this looks pretty cool. I like the way the car is coming out. So what we're going to do is we're going to be very gentle now because we have to flip this over and then place our pieces in. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and gently flip this over so we can start working on the back side of this car. Okay, so our first stage of doing all this, which is going to be step 1, we're going to be taking 30A, okay, and we're going to be attaching it onto this side of the car. So this will be a little tricky, but I think we'll be all right. Okay, so our first side is going to be right here. We're going to take our little piece here, you're going to slide it in. There's a little indent right here, kind of help you out to remind you where it's going to go. Once it does that, you're going to lock it into place. It doesn't really lock into place, but you just put it into place. Once it's into place, then you have to flip the vehicle over again. You'll have to flip it over, and then you'll have to put the screws in, okay? So those screws will be the GM screws that you're going to use. You're going to use a total of 4 of them, okay? So once you do that, then you flip it back over, and then we're going to repeat the process on this side where you're going to put this in just like so, and it'll lock into place. Once it locks into place, which is it's a little different on this side for some strange reason, but it'll lock right into place. You'll hear it slide right into its home, and then you'll put in 4 screws on the other side as well. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, put these 2 pieces on, which is all of step 1, 2, and 3, which is all just for this side. Since we've done it already, we'll have this side done. I'm going to go ahead and do this side as well, and then just show you guys the end product. Alright, so what we're doing now is we're going to do a real simple thing here. What we're going to do is I'm just going to show you. I got them in. It was a little finicky. There was a little bent part here, so I re-bent it back into place so it all lined up and everything. So our next phase, obviously, is going to be step 5. And step 5 is where we're going to be adding this piece. So this piece is going to go in on this side. As you can see, it's got 2 holes, okay? And we're going to place it in there. Once we place it in there, we're then going to put in a GM screw. So the way that they show this is that it is on the inside. So you just kind of line these two right up. Look at that. Okay. I don't know why it doesn't want to work for me, but just going to line them up. And once they line up, I'm going to have to do this one off camera, I think. All right, here we go. That's it. So you line it up. It'll go into place just like so. So once it's in place, you're going to take your GM screw and you're going to go ahead and put it in place, and it should be good to go. And there you have it. It's in place. So our next phase is pretty simple. We take our little plastic piece. It's one of our last steps here for book 31, and it's going to go right over these 3 little points here. You're just going to place it in there. It's going to come lining up real easy. Once you line it up, you'll hear it. It'll be all lined up, and you're good to go. However, you'll take 2 BP screws, which are these. We're going to take these 2 BP screws, and we're going to go on the other side here, and we're going to put those in there. So on this half, I'm going to put a BP screw here. I'm going to then grab this BP screw, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. That way, this plastic piece is all placed right into place. All right. So 30 delta is now screwed in nice and tight. We're going to flip it on its back side here so you guys can see back at home. Like, that looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead, flip it back over, because now it's time to get on with book 31. So just moving on to save time and space, we're going to be doing the packaging look here of what book 31 brings. I'm going to go ahead, open up the package, and we'll get it cracking on book 31. Okay, so we've got the car back upside down. I have a couple jacks on the front end of it to protect the engine and everything. So for now, it's kind of at a slight angle. Our step 1, though, is going to be our pieces here to create the drive shaft. All right. So once you put these two together, you'll then take these two, put them together. Once they're together, you're then going to add in all of our little spindle pieces. We're going to go into that. Okay. Then once we do that, we're going to have to eventually come in with this. And we have a few other pieces like this one. And then we still have all of our little hoses that we're going to be putting in, and eventually some other items. So without further ado, let's go ahead and put this one together. Okay, so now that we have our drive shaft in place, just remember, you don't want the screws facing this way. So when we put it in, it's going to be facing this way, so that way you have just the drive shaft showing without the screws all in place. So our next phase is to attach these two on both ends, so that way they'll attach to this and eventually will attach to this piece. Okay, so you're going to need 4 BP screws to do this, and you're going to just kind of put them in place. All right, and then attach the BP screws on either side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Alright, so our stage here for step 1 and step 2 are now all completed. Step 3, of course, we're going to now attach our little Y piece. We're going to attach that in just like so, and as you are well aware, that's going to go here. Then we're going to go into step 4, and this is where it's going to get tricky, guys, where we have to screw it in to here. It's loose, so we should be able to do both sides without any issues. So without further ado, I'll go ahead, screw these two pieces together, so then we can move on to step 4. So that's all completed, nice and loose fitting, so that way if we wanted to, we can turn it around, no problem, it's not going to be an issue. So we're going to move on now and attach this into here and put our BP screws into there. And there you have it. It's all connected, ready to go. Everything's nice and loose. I'm sure it's going to get a little tighter once we attach this to the rear tire axle and everything that's coming into the future. All right, so our next phase is we have a little black panel here. Okay, I'm not sure what this is going to be for, but maybe to protect the cables that are going to be coming through here. Maybe I'm just guessing. All right, but I'm looking here, and I think this piece is either going to go underneath here or it's going to go underneath on this side. But I'm going to look in the book, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I stand corrected. It looks like it's not going to really be much of anything, at least at this juncture, because in step 5, we're taking this piece, putting it inside 31 alpha here. So 31B and 31 alpha go together, and then we put a BP screw right up in here, get it nice and snug, and then after that, we're going to place it alongside the drive shaft. Looks like it's going to go right around this area, so let's see how this works out. Alright, and so as you can see here on step 6, it's showing how it's going to go into place. So what we're going to try to do is mimic that, and we'll come back to you. Okay, so we got both those screws in, and we have our little guide rail here, apparently. That's the only thing I could think of what this is going to have to do, but basically it's just a drive shaft protector. So yippee-ki-yay on this. All right, I'm assuming somewhere along here these cables are going to be coming through, but like I said, this is just a journey. We're going to see how far we can go on this. So we're just going to move on to our next step, which will be step 6. All right, so step 7, just so you know, is going to go right here. And this is the piece that we're going to do. This is where 3 cables are going to connect. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to screw it in. There's only one way because there's a little notch right here, which locks in with the notch here. I'm then going to take a BP screw, and I'm going to screw it in, and we'll start moving on to the next thing, which will be for step 8, which we're going to be starting to add in our cables that are going to run through here. All right, so now that that is in, we have to go back and grab 31H, and we're gonna have to do some intricate work here to get these cables to go down the way that they want them. Now, of course, one's gonna come through here, and then it's gonna come through here, and where it connects, well, we'll begin to find that out here. All right, so let me just go ahead, let you know that we're just gonna put these cables. We got a bunch of them here, so I'm gonna go ahead off camera real quick, make sure I get them all in order, so we can just rush right through. So 31H is gonna be very tricky, guys. So I might not be able to show it all on camera, but we're gonna give it a shot. So 31H starts here, so we're just gonna put that in. All right. Next, it has to go through here and here, and then it's gonna come. It's gonna go through here, then it's gonna go through here, and then it's gonna come up. And the reason why it's going to come up, it has to come out and in, and then it's going to connect to a component in towards the engine compartment there. So we're just gonna basically slide this just like so, and get it slid in there, and then we're gonna get this one slid in there as well. Got all that slack. I don't know why it's not working for me right now, but there we go. Oh, you know what? We'll just use some tweezers real quick. All right, so now we have it just the way we need it. Now it's not going to go over the A-frame. It has to go, I believe, underneath the A-frame. It's going to go right underneath. Okay. I don't know if you can see this, but we're gonna deal with the wire, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna. Okay, so I ran the wire right on through everything here. There's a little bit of slack. Then once you run it through, they kind of want you to run it up and over, and then in through here, which was kind of weird that they wanted it that way, but it's the way the fuel line goes. I'm not sure how all that seems to work for them, but that's what the instructions said. So we just went ahead and did all that. So our next phase, all right, part of step 9 was to connect it to that piece. So we've already done that. So now we're going to go to step 10, and step 10 is where we take 31 India, and then we're going to attach that to the other side of this one, and then it's going to come down towards the little junction box down here, because this will be for I believe more for our brake lines. It's let's see, looks like it's our fuel line, sorry. And so it's going to go into here, and it's going to go in on this side here. So without further ado, I'm going to grab that cord, bring it on down. All right, and so those are in. You'll have a little bit of slack, but that's okay. If you want, you can even cut the cord, but I decided not to. I'm just going to leave it the way it is for at least now. If I have to, I'll put something in there later on, like some glue or something, just to glue it down, but then we'll wait and see how that all happens. So our next phase, guys, is going to be step 11. Okay, guys, so the struggle is real. One cord is going to come up through here, and one cord is going to come right up through here, just like we did before. So it's a bit tricky, guys. So I'm going to flip this over real quick just to show you how I did this. So you have a short cord going here, slightly longer cord going here. This one is going to go down and in through this hole. This one runs all the way through and then connects to down here. We still have our slack piece right here. I don't know when that's going to attach, but we'll get to that soon. However, all the cords are going to fly right through here and in through there. So that'll complete stages 30 and 31. So without further ado, we're going to call it a day. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead, hit that like. If you want to, share it. And if you haven't already done so, I would suggest you hit that subscribe button so you can get all the current and up-to-date information on our vehicles and our current models that are coming out. We hope to see you again here on the Thompson Model Shop. I gotta go, so you guys keep on modeling.